If you're interested in learning about oil well investing, this is going to be a brief description of what oil well investing is and what are the benefits. Now, this is very brief. If you wish to learn more, look at my description below. You can find my phone number or fill out the form. There's a link to fill out a form, and I'll get back to you and discuss more about oil well investment programs. Okay, I'm Sean Pruitt, president of Kingdom Exploration. And if you like this channel, please subscribe. And I'm going to cover a broad range of questions and the most common ones. So what is the difference between investing in oil wells versus investing in a stock? Okay. And so if you understand the stock market, if you buy low, you want to sell high. Okay. But the problem with that formula is that even if the company is doing very well, people selling out causes the stock to dip. Okay. And that to me just fundamentally just doesn't make any sense. Stock guys love it. I dislike it. Okay. I like to know that if I hit the biggest well in the field, that we're going to make more money versus in a stock. Okay. And so in general, you're investing in everything that company does versus getting directly involved in an oil well. Now, the direct benefits of investing directly into an oil well is that the highest profit margins are made in direct participation, and you get what's called IDCs, intangible drilling costs, which allows you to write this program off 100% against your earned income. So the high income earners, okay, I get a lot of doctors, lawyers, business owners, tech guys from Silicon Valley that invest in oil wells because they want to protect themselves from these massive taxes and also set themselves up for the future to have income. I mean, some of these wells can last for 40 plus years, and that revenue will come in the form of monthly income for the next 40 years potentially, okay? And so you get tax benefits, you get monthly income. And so what is an oil well? An oil well simply is a well that's been drilled that's pumping oil out of the ground. Right now, the U.S. is pumping about 11.2 million barrels of oil. We have a massive oil deficit right now. There's just not enough oil. Okay. And so in order to make this work for investors to get involved, you have to put together a participation program. And so a lot of people call them DPPs, direct participation programs. They could be set up as an LP, a GP, an LLC. There's many forms of putting together a partnership. And so whatever the accountant or the CPA or the lawyer advises based upon the program and what benefits the investors the most, that's how they set it up. Sometimes they're set up wrong. I've seen a lot of deals that are set up wrong, and it's more of the inexperienced people, but that's where I come in. I look at a lot of oil deals, okay? And so I've been on every side of the coin, and the thing that I do now, because the current administration, it's become more difficult to get financing to finance oil and gas deals. That has put a lot of low-hanging fruit out there because there's some great oil programs. They've already spent the years of research. They already drilled the first well in the field, proving up the field. So they're the first sucker to cross the ice. They didn't fall through, and it's already proven, and they come to me for financing, okay? And so I bring a lot of partners to the deal. And so you can get involved in a deal that's already proven versus 50-50 shot. We don't know if there's any oil down here, and we're hoping that we hit. Okay. And so that's a massive benefit of getting involved in oil programs these days. Okay. And so bottom line, a direct participation program, you are buying fractional working interest versus paying for the entire oil well. Okay. So you don't have to invest $1 million to get involved in oil and gas. You can invest a fractional percentage. For instance, let's say for math purposes, let's say the well cost $1 million to drill and we're just drilling one well. Okay. And so we would put together a participation program for $1 million. Okay. And we would break it up in 10 units. Each unit would be $100,000. And the working interest, the ownership, would be 100% because there's 100% of the well available for investment. Okay. So it gives you the ability to buy 100% of the well or 10% of the well if you wanted to. Okay. Now, the way that percentage is broken up, the landowners get their percent, which is typically 12.5%. The operator gets another 12.5%, leaving 75% to the investors. So the royalty off the top is 25%. The working interest is 100%. In order to get to the net revenue, the NRI, you take the working interest, subtract it from the royalty. That equals the net revenue. So in this case, you take the 100% working interest, subtract the 25% royalty, and that gives you 75% net revenue. So you as an investor are paying for 100% of the pie, and you get to eat 75% of it. That's a standard deal, okay? That's how the landowners make money, and that's how the operators make money, okay? Now, there's a lot of oil deals out there, but most of the oil deals that I've looked at, it's mostly hype. You need to make sure that the geologist that is recommending the deal, make sure he knows what he's talking about. Okay. I've looked at hundreds of deals. I've participated in many, and there's a lot of failures out there simply because the geologist was not giving good advice, or they're just in a bad field. Okay. But it's gotten much easier to find really good oil and gas deals. Like I said before, there's a lot of oil companies that are starving for capital right now. And so there's never been a better time to get involved. Oil prices are high. And as long as the current administration is going to continue to keep pushing these policies, we're in very good position for high oil prices for a long time to come. All right, guys, if you're interested in learning more about oil and gas investing, we currently have a program in Western New York. It's a 40-well program that's online right now that we're raising capital for. If you're interested in learning more, please look in my description below. There's a link to fill out my form, and my phone number will be down there as well. If you wish to call me, or you could also send me an email. It would be me chatting with you. And you could come out to the field, check it out. Now, just as a disclaimer, oil and gas investing is a high degree of risk. In the event, now here's the difference between investing in an oil well versus investing in real estate. Real estate, it's a liquid, you're investing into an asset, okay? Building a house, and at the end of the day, if the housing market crashes, you still have a house, and you could sell it, okay? You could sell out and get out of your investment. Now, an oil well, instead of having a house on the surface, you have a house underneath the ground. It's in the pipe. It's a 2,000 to 10,000 foot hole in the ground that you just invested into. If that hole does not release oil, all you have is a $1 million hole in the ground, and it's not going to benefit you in any way. And you only get a tax write-off. Okay. And so I've done many things to reduce the amount of risk in the programs that we've gotten involved in. For instance, my operator's drilled 1,500 wells, and he's gotten less than 1% of dry holes. Okay. Just the area is very lucrative, and it's very low risk. Now there's much higher risk deals. They're called wildcats. Wildcat is simply if we drilled in an area where the nearest success is miles and miles away, we have no idea what to expect. Man, that's a high risk oil deal. I would give that a 10 to 20% chance of success. So, all right, guys, I'm Sean Pruitt, president of Kingdom Exploration. And also, if you have an oil deal, send it to me. Or if you have an oil deal that you're thinking about investing in, let my geologist look at it. He was one of the top 5 geologists for a multi-billion-dollar oil company. He'd be glad to look at the logs because, I mean, listen, he gets a free look. He gets to look at what other oil companies are doing. He gets to learn more about the geology, and it gives us a free look to see what's going on in the U.S. So the benefit of that is it shows me where the good fishing holes, if you understand what I mean. All right, guys. Nice chatting with you, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.